Hey, what's going on, guys? We're going to be talking about the top 10 new features for Farming Simulator 22. And spoiler alert, I've got a bonus one at the end, so stick around to the end. Let's do this thing. Pitter patter. Hey there, guys. This is Klutch, and I'm going to be talking today about all the brand new features for Farming Simulator 22. Got a bunch of brand new stuff to talk about. So what does that exactly mean? Well, if you've been around for a bit, if you played Farming Sim 19 or 17, you have an idea what Farming Simulator is about if you're brand new to the series. But we're going to be talking about all the new features that have been bumped up since these previous games. Now, Farming Simulator 19 has been out for almost 3 years, when typically the Farming Simulator series has been on a development schedule of every 2 years. So with that logic, you would think that Farming Simulator 22 will have the most features and be the biggest upgrade. Well, let's not get ahead of ourselves quite yet, as there have been some fundamental changes to the way the series has been released. And while Giants, who are the creator and now publisher of Farming Simulator, will be for the first time publishing the game themselves. Now, typically in the past, Giants has hired another company to go and take care of the publishing task. Beforehand, this was done by Focus Entertainment. However, for Farming Simulator 22, for the first time, Giants is self-publishing the title. Now, from the outside looking in, it doesn't make much of a difference to us. We look at this and not really see any kind of a difference. It's not going to change how we see Farming Simulator. However, I think on the back end, what they're dealing with is a fundamental change, like I said, to the way that they've been producing the series. So that extra year, a lot of that I'm sure has been eaten up by the self-publishing aspect of it. Okay, now that I've tempered expectations a little bit, let's be honest, it's still been an extra year of development put into Farming Simulator 22, and most of those who would have been working on the actual development of the title, the actual coding of it, well, they wouldn't have been involved, well, in the publishing side of things. So I'm going to say that expectations are still very high for Farming Simulator 22. So with those high expectations on the top of your mind, let's dive in and let's talk about the top 10 new features that are coming to Farming Simulator 22. And of course, like I said, stick around to the end. We've got a bonus, which we're going to be talking about something else that we haven't quite talked about quite enough yet. Let's dig into it. Number 1, seasonal cycles. What seasonal cycles will do is allow you to play through an entire calendar year. And based on the location of the map you're playing on and what season you're in, the temperature and weather will change. This will also force you to play somewhat strategically when deciding what crops to plant, when you should plant those, and when you should harvest. Now, seasons is nothing that's really new to Farming Simulator. However, this is the first time that it is base game and it's baked right into Farming Simulator. Prior to this, seasons was considered a mod. It was something you would have to install, download separately, and then put into your game. And while this did work, it was still an add-on and it was not created directly by Giants themselves. Now, note that this new feature can be turned off, so you can ignore the calendar and plant harvest whenever you would like. However, you will still see changes both to temperature and weather throughout the year. Also, it's worth noting that the seasons mod from Farming Simulator 19 did make a few other changes. For example, to get hay, you simply needed to let your cut grass stay out in the sun, whereas in base game Farm Sim 19, you needed to ted the grass, where then you could immediately grab it because it was turned into hay. We have not heard exactly how the grass will behave yet in Farming Simulator 22, or if there may be any other changes quite like this affected by turning off or on seasonal cycles. Number 2, manual transmissions. For the first time, manual transmissions will be a feature in Farming Simulator. We have seen a few different variations of this already in gameplay and in fact sheets. Some equipment will not have it as an option and it will just come with either an automatic transmission or even a CVT transmission, yet others will come with an option or a manual transmission if available. A highly requested feature is sure to make those happy that have those peripheral wheels, pedals, and shifters, just to add that extra level of realism. Number 3, production chains. What exactly are production chains? Well, simply put, they add another layer to the Farming Simulator cake. Ironically, you can make cakes. What this will allow you to do is take the product from your farm one step further, where typically you would just take that product, let's say it's wheat, and you just sell it to the mill or co-op that was offering the best price. Well, now with production chains, you'll be able to do the same, but for example, you will take your wheat to the mill And from there, have that mill turn your wheat into flour. You will take that flour and then turn it to the bakery for an added profit. Now, there are several different branches of production chains you will be able to use depending on exactly what you are farming, from cereal factories, spinneries, oil mills, dairies, sugar mills, grape processing, and carpentry. Also included in the production chains are the all new greenhouses in Farming Simulator 22 that will be able to be placed right on your farm. Now, these greenhouses, they produce lettuce, tomatoes, and strawberries. I know that's technically an entire new feature, but we're counting this one here in the production chain section. Number 4, crossplay. For some out there, this is nothing special, I understand. However, for some others of you, this is arguably the biggest feature added to Farming Simulator 22. Simply put, if you are playing Farming Simulator 22 on any platform, you'll be able to play together. Xbox, PlayStation, PC, and Mac will all be able to play Farming Simulator 22 together with each other. Also, not to mention the fact that this also means console players for the very first time will be able to play Farming Simulator 22 on servers together. Shameless plug, be sure to get your GPORTAL server using the link in the description below. That'll even get you 5% off. Number 5, new crops and items. Once again, we'll be seeing all the standard crops we've come to know and love in Farming Simulator 19, from your wheat, barley, oats, corn, canola, soybeans, sunflowers, sugarcane, poplars, beets, and potatoes. But added on into Farming Simulator 22, we will now be able to plant and harvest sorghum, olives, and grape crops. Sorghum is similar to our grain crops. However, the olives and grapes are entirely new, and Farming Simulator 22 will include specialized equipment that are designed just for those crops. Also, we'd be amiss if we didn't mention the new greenhouse crops once again, strawberries, lettuce, and tomatoes, as those are technically new crops as well. Number 6, game engine improvements. Once again, this is more of a behind the scenes type of feature. However, this could potentially be the biggest change to the Farming Simulator series. Farming Simulator runs on the Giants engine, and in Farming Simulator 22, it will be running on the next version of this engine, Giants Engine 9. Some of the performance enhancements include texture streaming, which allow the game to only render things that are in your current view. Occlusion culling is built in to prevent hidden objects from rendering until they are visible, and PC players will also be able to utilize DirectX 12, which will better manage GPU and CPU usage. You can also expect better graphics thanks to temporal anti-aliasing, which reduce jagged edges and flickers, parallax occlusion mapping, which will give things a three-dimensional appearance, and also work has been done to improve shadows. Now, I know a lot of the mumbo jumbo I just said doesn't mean a whole lot to anyone. Let's just go with better graphics, better looking, prettier tractors. You guys get the gist. Number 7, sound improvements. This almost fits right in with game engine improvements, as it may not be noticed by all players, but if done correctly, this will make a huge improvement to immersion in the series. The biggest change to the sound engine in Farming Simulator 22 is how equipment sounds. You will now notice specific changes to sound based on how much load your equipment is under. For example, if you're driving around your farm just cleaning things up, it might sound a little quiet. But if you're with your tractor in your field tilling up some ground with a large subsoiler, things may get a little bit grunty. This feature also coincides with the new manual transmission feature, of course, and to top it off will be available for modders to take advantage of. Number 8, build mode and the terrain editor. Hey, did you know that the terrain editor was not originally available in Farming Simulator 19? That's right, you could place down a few buildings, but there was no way to change the slope of the lands. That was added in within a few weeks. Thankfully, however, Farming Simulator 22 will be coming with a build mode and terrain editor baked right in. And this time, it's all under the same screen. No more swapping back and forth to the menu after making a change to the terrain to see if a building will fit. Now, all the buildings and the terrain editor will all be visible in the same mode. While this is just a bit of a minor upgrade, what's not minor is how you can place fences and vines. No more fighting with fence posts, trying to get it just right to line things up. Now, with a simple drag and drop, boom, you've got your fence, your vine length that you want, all lined up. We also need to mention that the number of available buildings and placeable objects has greatly been increased, but to be honest, you had me at drag and drop fences.
You had me at hello.
Number 9, character creation. Another feature that was included in Farming Simulator 19, however, was as bare bones as they come, except for hats. Does anyone know how many hats that were available? Pretty sure we have more hats in Farming Simulator 19 than any other piece of equipment, buyable object, placeable, anything else. In Farming Simulator 22, there is a dramatic increase to both our character options as well as the clothing and accessories we can sport, many of which are also branded. Hey Giants, do you need a Klutch Simulation sponsored hat? Just asking. We can make that happen. Number 10, ground working features. Now this is technically 3 new features that have been added into Farm Sim. We've got mulching, stone picking, and soil rolling now. Mulching, well, it can be done just similar to fertilizing, which will add into the productivity of the crops. Stone picking will be needed to be done after cultivating or plowing to avoid damaging your equipment. And soil rolling can be done to push back down smaller rocks and will also give you a yield bonus if done after planting by flattening and compressing the seed bed. All right, guys, so that's your 10 top features. I promised you a bonus. I didn't forget. I promise you I didn't forget. We actually technically have 2 things we want to talk about as far as the bonus. Firstly, wildlife is now a thing in Farming Simulator 22. Well, kind of. We do have deer. We have deer, which are considered wildlife in Farming Simulator 20 that we will randomly join into your farm, walk around your farm. You will see them walking around the map. They will randomly be generated and you will just see them walking around. If you approach them, they'll be scared away and they'll run back into the forests. Now, as for the one main big bonus I did want to talk about, it's the one thing we still haven't heard about in Farming Sim 22 yet, and that is the workers or the hired help menu. We've seen the menu. We know there's an option for a menu. It's in there. However, we don't know what it means yet. We know the problems we've had with workers in the past. This is going to be a new feature. I'm confident that this will make my top 10 new features list for Farming Simulator 22. I just know it's going to be there, but we don't know enough about it yet to include it in. But know that I'm really hoping this is true. I'm going to call it right now. Hired help workers have been improved for Farming Simulator 22. Oh, please, please, please.
Your mama always said you better be right and be last before you gonna be first and be wrong, boy.
Of course, guys, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel so that when this new feature is dropped and when the new information is released, you don't miss anything on that. We'll be sure to be posting something about it. And of course, if you enjoyed the video, make sure you hit that big thumbs up button, give us a like, as that helps feed the old YouTube algorithm. And of course, if you're looking to pre-order Farming Simulator 22, you can find links down in the description that will help you take care of that pre-order right here, right now. Other than that, folks, I hope you guys enjoyed. Have a great day, and we will catch you in the next one.